You thought you were pretty bad breaking into a cop's car, didn't you? That is some nerve. I mean, seriously, you're the second person I've had in 11 years that has had the nerve to do that. All right, sir, you're Bryce Thomas. And Mr. Thomas was previously in court, entered pleas of guilty in cause number 24, DCCR 0389 to the third-degree felony offense of prohibited weapon. Cause number 24, DCCR 0390, also a third-degree felony of possession of a prohibited weapon. Cause number 24, DCCR 0391, pled guilty to the state jail felony offense of theft of a firearm. Cause number 24, DCCR 0392, pled guilty to the lesser offense of indecency with a child by exposure, also a third-degree felony. There was no plea agreement. I have received and reviewed the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
State has.
In addition, there is also the largest packet I've ever received of jail incident reports in a case. Did everyone have an opportunity to review those?
Yes, I took an evening and
35 pages.
I reviewed them one evening.
State reviewed all 35 pages of it.
In addition, the state has filed a state sentencing memorandum. Mr. Burbank, did you receive that and were you able to review it? Okay.
Did you catch
Anything
that?
else,
The
any
judge just
objections or
said
corrections
this
or
is the
additions to the,
largest packet of
report?
jail incident reports he's
Mr.
ever
Burbank, you may
received in a
proceed.
single case. That means this kid wasn't just breaking the law on the outside. He was still causing chaos behind bars. In legal terms, this seriously hurts any shot at probation.
Anything else, any objections or corrections or additions to the report?
No, Judge.
All right, Mr. Burbank, you may proceed.
Your Honor, this is a very young kid that in a very short period of time stepped off the cliff and got himself in a lot of trouble. I will represent to the court when I was encased by his family. One of my issues was the recovery of the weapons because they were law enforcement.
Could you speak up a little bit?
Back to represent to the court that almost immediately, hysteriously, we go over things and not always in front hallway and returns to operation. And I'd like the court to take notice that those weapons were all displayed back into the
Could you speak up a little bit, please?
back into the state jail. We go open because I do not have a recommendation. You can place them on probation for a period of 10 years. These are third-degree felonies that you can do. At the very end, state jail, the theft of the firearm. You could put them in a state jail for a period of time and put them on probation for the other one. I would ask that if you are going to send him to the penitentiary, that maybe in reference to the sexual offense, that you do place him on probation, so that you can have some accountability for him once he got out for a period of time. That would give the court maybe whether or not he's learned his lesson. Now, as you peruse through the 35 pages of incident reports, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I've talked at length with Mr. Thomas about those, and he'd like to address the court on those. It is what it is, and that's not behavior of whether or not
You have something to
you
say?
would be able to follow court's orders if you can't follow what's going on in jail in reference to probation.
Yeah, but once you get
Did you catch
several
that?
write-ups,
The judge just said this is the largest
the
packet of jail incident
point of
reports
growing up
he's ever received
to
in
learn
a
from
single
your mistakes.
case. That
So
means this
if you
kid wasn't
keep
just
getting
breaking the
write-ups,
law
then
on the outside. He was
you
still
can't just say,
causing
"I'm young and
chaos
dumb,
behind
so I keep
bars.
getting
In
write-ups."
legal terms,
I don't disagree
this
that you're
seriously
young and
hurts
dumb,
any shot at
but
probation.
this is
Judges
ridiculous.
weigh in
Like,
jail
I mean,
behavior heavily
know our
when
jail
considering
cannot wait
rehabilitation.
for you to get
Ask
out.
that
Cannot wait.
Ask Mr. Thomas.
Yeah, go ahead. You have something to say?
What do I have to say?
Mr.
I
Coleman?
can just say it's just young, dumb, you know, just being in jail at a young age and not really knowing. Got write-ups.
Yeah. Yeah, but once you get several write-ups, the whole point of growing up is to learn from your mistakes. So if you keep getting write-ups, then you can't just say I'm young and dumb, so I keep getting write-ups. I don't disagree that you're young and dumb, but this is ridiculous. I know our jail cannot wait for you to get out. Cannot wait. Mr. Coleman?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll be brief since I put everything, I made the state's position clear and I've sent a memorandum. I'd like to briefly shift the focus from the write-ups to the underlying facts in the state's position,
Yeah.
which I believe are.
Stealing out of cop cars.
Stealing from patrol vehicles, at least 2 patrol units, Your Honor. Detective Matt Dixon is here if you want to hear more details on the detective. But Your Honor, I think the audacity, the boldness to steal these weapons from a police car goes to show what exactly the nature of this defendant is and what we're dealing with here. And even more than that, Judge, it appears from the underlying facts that the defendant may be implicated in a series of other car burglaries. We've got a Glock switch that converted one of those weapons into a 2 things.
And now the prosecution drops a bombshell. Not only did Bryce steal police firearms, but he and his 16-year-old accomplice built up an arsenal, including a Glock with a switch, turning it into a fully automatic weapon.
Sure, Mr. Coleman,
That's not just theft. It's preparation for a potential massive threat. These aren't minor mistakes. These are
Fully automatic weapon. He was conspiring with another juvenile, a 16-year-old, to steal the weapons, which a photograph is attached to my sentencing
If I
memorandum.
sentence him to
You see,
probation
this
today,
is
I don't know that I
nothing
can make
less
that
than
mistake.
an arsenal that these
So I
kids
think
amass, Judge. I shudder to think what could have to become of these weapons if they would end up in the hands of other criminals, if they could have been used
Because when would it
against law
start?
enforcement. Your Honor, long gone are the days where there's a low caliber Saturday night special that these kids use.
So whatever I give them,
some type of
if I
firearm,
do
they are
in
using,
prison,
they are loaded for bear
and then I
with
say
fully
it's
automatic
consecutive
weapons.
with a
I'd ask the
probation,
court
and
to
does
make
it
an
matter if
example out
it's a
of this
straight
guy.
or?
He benefits from not having a criminal history to speak of, but Your Honor, this is beyond.
I appreciate the idea. Again, we've done it
Sentence him to prison
sometimes. I just,
for what he's done.
I mean,
And then, following that, a consecutive probation period so that we can continue to monitor.
what are you doing with all
After
these?
he's released from prison. Thank you, Your Honor.
So, I wanted to make sure, Mr. Coleman, I've done this type of sentencing that you're asking for on some different cases.
Not shooting people
I
yet.
think
What are you shooting?
the
Why would you have these? What
probation
What do you use to shoot at?
Period.
Just to be tough and say you have guns?
If I sentence him to probation today,
That's
I
all
don't
that's
know that I
happening
can
with
make that
these guns on the street,
consecutive.
Is y'all are shooting
So I think
at each other, at other people, at houses,
I
at
believe you
cars,
can, Judge, and
at
if you
whatever.
need to recess this
There's no
proceeding, I
reason to
can get
have
the
these
case
kind of
law
guns.
in pretty
These aren't
short
hunting guns.
Because when would it start?
You're not
It will
going to
start
shoot
after he
deer.
finishes his
Do you
period of
hunt?
incarceration.
I do.
Do you?
Okay.
Have you?
So whatever I give
one of
him,
these is
if I
your
do at prison, and then I say it's consecutive with a probation, and does it matter if it's a straight or a,
You thought you were pretty bad breaking into a
But again,
cop's
I'm happy
car.
to get you some case.
no, I appreciate
That is some nerve.
the idea. Again, we've done it sometimes. I
You're the
I mean,
second person I've had in 11 years that has had
This
the nerve
is
to
one
do
of
that.
Judge Boyd's most powerful moments. You can hear the frustration, the anger, the heartbreak in
Here's
his
what I'm going to
voice.
do, because I
He's not just
agree
judging
with,
a case.
but Mr.
He's calling out an
Coleman,
epidemic.
I would like at least
Young
in the
people collecting
indecency
military-style
case to get
weapons,
treatment
not to hunt
and
deer, but to look
probation
tough
on that
or
case so that we
retaliate.
know you're not going to go make that type of bad decision again. But I'm not
What
giving
y'all
you
do- what are you
probation.
doing with all
You're
these?
gonna just, you want to change your life and do better and not be young and dumb, you're going to have some time to figure that out. So in cause number 24, DCCR 0389, I'm going to find.
not shooting people yet. What are you shooting? Why would you have these? What are you getting these to shoot
Evidence to find
at?
you guilty, and at this time, find you guilty. of
Just to be
possession
tough
of
and say you have guns?
Mr. Coleman.
That's
actually
all that's
asked me to
happening with
sentence you
these
to
guns on the
5 years. I
street
don't
is
think
y'all are
that's enough.
shooting at
I'm
each
gonna
other,
sentence you
at other
next,
people, at
case to
houses,
7
at
years in
cars,
the
at
institutional
whatever.
division of the Texas Department.
There's no reason to have these kind of guns. These aren't hunting guns, right? You're not going to shoot a deer. Do you hunt?
I do.
Do
I
you?
have before, but
Have you?
just
Which one of these is your hunting gun?
none of those.
You thought you were pretty bad breaking into a cop's car, didn't you? That is some nerve. I mean, seriously, you're the second person I've had in 11 years that has had the nerve to do that. Here's what I'm going to do, because I agree with Mr. Coleman. I would like, at least in the indecency case, to get treatment and probation on that case so that we know you're not going to go make that type of bad decision again. But I'm not giving you probation on everything. You want to change your life and do better and not be young and dumb, you're going to have some time to figure that out. So in cause number 24, DCCR 0389, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of possession of a prohibited weapon. Mr. Coleman actually asked me to sentence you to 5 years. I don't think that's enough. I'm going to sentence you in that case to 7 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You'll receive credit on that sentence for any time you've been in custody, and part of the reason I made it lengthier is because you have been in custody so long, and a 5-year sentence really isn't going to amount to much.
7 years. That's the judge's answer to Bryce's plea for leniency. And here's why it matters. By handing down longer sentences, especially when time served already cuts into it, Judge Boyd is making sure the punishment actually sticks. It's a move judges use to send a message.
Cause number 24, DCCR 0390, also find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of possession of a prohibited weapon. Sentence you to a term of 7 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will also receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. In cause number 24, DCCR 0391, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of the state jail felony offense of theft of a firearm. Sentence you to a term of 2 years in the state jail prison. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. Then in cause number 24, DCCR 0392, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, in that case, I'm going to defer all proceedings, place you on probation. No, that's the third. I'm going to find you guilty of that offense, sentence you to a term of 10 years in the institutional division, but I'm going to suspend that and place you on probation for 10 years.
Can I address the court on that?
Mm-hmm.
With a deferred, though, with the registration, it would, if he did comply after he got out, that he may have a chance instead of a conviction.
He's already got 3 convictions.
Well, I
A fourth.
understand that, but a sexual kind of.
May I respond, Judge? That is a reduced plea to a reduced charge.
I agree.
I'd like to point that out.
Can I give a straight on indecency though? Hold on. I think it has to be deferred. Hold on. Yeah, it has to be deferred. Okay, so I'm going to go back in that cause number, which ends in 0392. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to defer all proceedings, and I'm going to place you on probation for 10 years. That will run consecutively to the other cases. So that probation does not start until you get out of prison. Then, if you violate that probation, you could be sentenced up to 10 years in that case. So you're going to be under supervision or in custody for a very long time. So if you really want to change your ways, you're going to have every opportunity to do that. If you don't,
This moment hits hard. Judge Boyd isn't sugarcoating it. He lays out the cold, hard reality. No parole if you act up, and 10 years of probation waiting on the other side. That's over a decade of surveillance, conditions.
you're going to end up, number one, you're probably not going to make parole if you keep acting like you've been acting here. If you get to prison and you act like this, you're not going to make your parole. You're going to do that whole 7 years. That's going to be up to you. The sooner you get out and act right, the sooner you can start this other probation and get off of it, grow up, and maybe change your life. That's going to be up to you. On that deferred, I am going to order a $500 fine that you follow all of the conditions of probation. That's going to include sex offender treatment, going to whatever classes are necessary, staying clean, not getting in any trouble, all of those kinds of things. Do you understand? Mr. Coleman?
Your Honor, is there a deadly weapon finding option with these weapons?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. Okay.
Unless you can, I don't think that's,
We didn't allege it.
Well, and they're not, possession of a prohibited in the 3G, so I don't think we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, so all of these are actually wrong because y'all marked off plea bargain and there wasn't a plea bargain. So I'm going to hand you the trial court certification in all of your cases. This shows that these were not a plea agreement.
It was a plea agreement, Judge, because there's a, no.
Oh, because of-
No, there was an unauthorized use that we agreed would be dismissed.
And also the lesser offense in that, so there was consideration taken, so this was an agreement, at least for those reductions. Okay, so you have waived your right to appeal. In these cases, I'm going to hand you those certifications. I'm also handing you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgments entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read that written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk with Mr. Burbank. All right, good luck to you, sir. You can go back with the bailiff.
I thought, sure.
Yeah.
We have Mr. Jenkins that you're gonna.
So let's break it all down. Bryce Thomas, caught stealing from police cruisers, hoarding illegal weapons, and playing the young and dumb card, just got handed a heavy sentence. Multiple years in prison, followed by a 10-year probation tail. And Judge Boyd, he wasn't having it. He made it crystal clear, age is not an excuse for criminal escalation. This case is a massive